Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about solving inequalities using addition or subtraction. And you're going to find that this is actually really similar to equations. There's only a couple of small differences here. So when you're solving inequalities, you want to get the variable by itself, just like you want to do with equations. And so you need to use a couple of properties to do that. The first one is the addition property of an equality. And that's actually the same as the equality property. And I'm going to go ahead and explain that to you. So this property says that if you add the same number to each side of an inequality, then the inequality remains true. Okay? So that just means, in other words, when you are solving an inequality and you have to get x by itself and you need to do something like adding 5, right, to both sides, as long as you do it to both sides, you're good to go. Okay, and then conversely, the subtraction property of an inequality is almost the same. So if you subtract the same number from each side of an inequality, the inequality, remains true. Okay, so same thing. If it says x plus 2 and you need to go ahead and subtract the 2, as long as you do it to both sides, you're good to go. If you subtract 2 from one side and not the other, you know that's not going to work. It's going to mess up your equation in the past, and then now it's going to mess up your inequality. Okay, so those properties just allow you to move things to the other side, same as equations. Let's look at a couple of examples. So the first one says solve x minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 10. And then go ahead and graph the solution. So we have to do two things. We need to solve this, and then we need to graph our answer. Okay, so if I'm looking here, I want to get x by itself, and there's a minus 6 here, so you know I need to go ahead and add the 6 to this side, and then since I do that, I have to add the 6 to this side. Okay, and then on the left, I'm left with x, and on the right, I have negative 10 plus 6. That gives me negative 4. Now, when you're doing equations, sometimes you can just write negative 4, and that's fine. However, this is inequalities. You need to have this sign here still. Okay, it would not be right if you just said negative 4. So your full answer is x is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, so that takes care of our answer. And now what we need to do is go ahead and graph our solution. So sometimes you're going to be given a number line, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you'll be giving a number line with some hash marks on it, but no numbers. So I just really want you to understand how to make your own, and it's not challenging at all. We're going to go ahead and draw a line, and you just need a couple of little hash marks on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'll put 5 of them on there. And I'm seeing negative 4, so I'm going to put a 0 here, make this a 2, and a 4, and then that would make this a negative 2 and a negative 4. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly like everybody else's. That's not a big deal. So now I'm going to go ahead and graph it. It says greater than or equal to negative 4. Since it says greater than or equal to, my circle is closed, okay, because of that equal sign. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my circle. And now I need to look at which way I'm going. It says x is greater than, so that means my arrow is going to go this way. And that's my answer. Okay, so in order to receive full credit for this problem, you would need the answer to the problem, which is here, that's the solution. You would also need the graph, which is right here. Alright, let's look at another one. So this one says solve m plus 3.8 is less than 7. Alright, so same thing. I need to get m by itself. I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 3.8 from both sides. So I subtract it from there, I subtract it from here. And when I do that, I'm left with m on the left. I still have my less than, don't lose that. And then I have to do 7 minus 3.8, and that's going to give me 3.2. Okay, so that takes care of my answer. My solution to the problem. Now I need to go ahead and graph this. So once again, I'm going to make a number line. And this one is less than 3.2. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 here. 1, 2, 3 goes here, and I'll put 4 here. Okay, and this way, 3.2, I don't have a hash mark for it, but that's okay. Here's 3, here's 4, so 3.5 is going to be like here, so 3.2 is going to be right about here. And since it says less than, not less than or equal to, I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle there, and then I'll go ahead and make my arrow go this way. Okay, that's one option. Another option that you could do, and I might like even better, because then you're not worried about exactly, where to put it. It makes it a little bit easier. What if we do this? If I put 3 here, what if this one is 3.1? This one is 3.2, and so on. And now, oops, that one's going to be 3. And now I actually have a hash mark for my answer. Okay, and so on. You can go ahead and write a couple of these. So now, since it says m is less than 3.2, I can put it right here, right on there. And once again, it's an open circle because there's no equal to. And I go ahead and put it this way. Okay? I would mark either one right, but I think this one is a little easier because it's more precise. Let's look at one more. This one says solve 1/4 is greater than y minus 2/3. Alright, so obviously the fractions are going to make you not want to do this, but keep in mind it's not terrible. It looks worse than it is, and you have a calculator. So let's go ahead and solve this. You'll notice the y is on the right side, and that's okay. That's no big deal. I'm still going to get the y by itself. So it says minus 2/3. I need to go ahead and add 2/3 to both sides. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. Okay, and now I'm left on the right side. All I have left is a y, right? So I'm going to put y over here. And then I still have this sign, so you don't want to lose that. And on the left side, the math that I have to do on my calculator is 1/4 plus 2/3. And if that gives you a decimal, you need to go ahead and turn it back into a fraction. So on my calculator, it says it's 11/12. Okay, so this is your answer. You can leave it just like this. Me personally, when I get an answer and I have to graph it, I like the letter to be on the left. It just helps me understand it. Instead of saying 11/2 is greater than y, that's fine. I like to have the y first. If you're going to have the y first, you have to turn around the whole thing. Because look, this says 11/2 is greater than y. That's the same thing as y is less than 11/12. Okay, so when you turn it around, don't forget that the inequality sign in the middle turns around as well. All right, so okay, 11/12. Let's see, I need to go ahead and graph that. So then the question becomes, where do I want to put my hash marks? What do I want to do? I guess 11/12, the first thing I ask myself is which two numbers is it in between? 11/12 is greater than 0, but it's less than 1, very close to 1. So I could make 12ths if I wanted to. I could go ahead and do that. Yeah, I guess I can do that. So I'll make this, let's see, 9/12. I'll make this 10/12. I'll make this 11/12. And then 12/12 would just be 1. And then this would be 1 and 1/12, and so on. Okay, so if I want to be precise, I can go ahead and make them each 12. So you don't have to. You could make a 0 and then a 1 and do it in between there. So let's see, y is less than 11/12, so 11/12 is right here. It does not have an equal sign, so it gets an open circle, and less than goes this way. Okay, so those are the two components to my answer. I have my solution, and I have my graph. All right. So thank you so much. Go ahead and go back if you need to check anything else. Make sure you have good notes, and I will see you tomorrow.